Today I share with you how to make moi moi. This moi moi recipe is not on how to make moi moi with beans. Instead, this recipe is on how to make moi moi with plantains. And I'll start by peeling off the skin of my green plantains. Yes, many people argue. They say moi moi is the best Nigerian food ever. Well, I don't know about you, but for me, I think there are so many Nigerian dishes. There are so many Nigerian foods that it is quite hard to simply conclude that one meal is the best. Moi moi is delicious, and I'm showing you how to add a little bit of a twist to your moi moi by making your moi moi with plantains. But I also assure you that, to be very honest with you, there are so many Nigerian dishes that you should try before you decide to conclude that moi moi is the best Nigerian food. The next thing I will do is I'm going to be cutting my plantains into small sizes. If you have an average blender, I mean, if your blender is not, one of the fancy high powered blender, ensure you do this to make sure that you get a nice creamy consistency after blending. The next thing I will do is to cut and peel my overripe plantains. As a person, at some point, I used to have so many overripe plantains in the house, and eventually I'll throw them away or I'll use them to make dodo ikiri. By the way, I have a dodo ikiri recipe on this blog. But at some point, I said, you know what, let me begin to make plantain moi moi with it, and it turns out great. So make sure you watch this video to the end to see how lovely this turned out and how I made it turn out so well. I'll be washing my moi moi leaves, but I'm not going to dwell too much on washing moi moi leaves because I'm sure that I have already established the fact that you need to wash your moi moi leaves. If you've been following me, if you've been watching my videos, especially my moi moi videos, you need to wash your moi moi leaves. See how dirty the water is. Now I'm going to show you my peppers and then I'll go on to blend. I just added my plantains to the blender. I'll add some water and then I'll add the pepper. After adding the pepper, I'll blend till I achieve a creamy texture. So here is the tricky part. For this recipe, there's no flour version or flour alternative that you can add, especially when you add too much water and then your batter is too watery. So the thing you need to do is to add water gradually. Yes, add water little by little till you get the smooth and creamy batter that you want or that is necessary to get a lovely, lovely, lovely plantain moi moi that you will love anyway. I don't know why I get so excited when I'm cooking, but let me continue cooking. So at this point, you've noticed that I've been adding some water. Yes, and I'm going to add a little bit more now and then blend again. Like I said, add water gradually so that you get the best. Now, let me open this blender and show you what I have. This is a perfect texture. Now, another cooking hack for this recipe. If you are tired of mixing and mixing and mixing when making moi moi, just do this very simple thing. Add all your ingredients to the blender and let the blender do the mixing for you. Now I'll add my palm oil. I'd also be adding some salt and seasoning. After doing that, I'll simply add a little bit more of water because this batter is really thick. And then I'll cover and blend. Yes. After blending, you will see what it looks like. Yes, it's done the mixing for me. The blender has done all of the mixing for me. See, take a look at it. And it's still quite thick. So I'm going to rinse out my blender because, I don't have to waste food. I love to manage my resources. Now I'll simply mix this batter lightly because of the water I used to rinse out the blender. I need to ensure that everything has uniform consistency. After mixing, I'm going to taste this batter. The great thing about this recipe is you don't need too much salt or seasoning. Remember, overripe plantains are sweet. Okay, I'll set this aside and I'll remove the bones in this fish. For this recipe, for this plantain moi moi recipe, you can use macrofish, sardine, you can use corned beef, you can use egg. But today I decided to use fishes and macrofish, and I'll be taking out the bones from this fish. If you've watched this video to this point, Make sure you like this video, leave your comments, please share this video and subscribe to this channel. And if you feel you need a little bit of convincing to subscribe to this channel, well, if you like Nigerian dishes and how to prepare them, if you're interested in Nigerian cooking videos, you will find so many Nigerian food recipes on this channel because this is a Nigerian food recipes channel. So yes, please subscribe. Now it's time to wrap my moi moi, my plantain moi moi, and I'm simply wrapping the leaves properly to form a cone before I pour my batter into the space that I have made at the middle of the leaves. After putting the batter, I'd add a little bit of fish, then I'll close up the leaf and put it in my steaming rack that I showed you while I was trying to convince you to subscribe. Yes, remember? Okay, now let me show you this. Remember, one, two, three, four, crunch it up and then put the batter in it. If you want to know more about how to wrap moi moi leaves, you can find that in my latest moi moi video. I think I published that about a few weeks ago. Yes, you can find that in it. The video is comprehensive on how to wrap moi moi leaves. Yes, and I'm sure you're enjoying this overripe plantain recipe. And sure you try. This is what it looks like, okay? If it were to be, a roadside vendor, what they do is they use sacks to cover the steamer, just like you see here. But then I'm at home, so and what's the rush anyway? So I decided to cook it in bits, or I decided to take it out and cook, and then cook the remaining later. I cooked it for about 45 minutes, and this is what it looks like. Now I'm going to show you what my moi moi looks like. Let me get a dish first, or let me get a plate, whatever you call it. This water is necessary because this is very hot, and I'll need this water to cool my fingers down, especially when I'm unwrapping the moi moi. Ooh, this is hot. This is so hot. Anyway, let me quickly unwrap this so that you'll see, because I am also anticipating the beauty of my culinary skills. You know what I mean? Yeah. So let me show you another one so you see what it looks like again. I hope I've been able to convince you to put your overripe plantains to good use. Yes, stop throwing food away. Yes, stop throwing food away. Just make something delicious out of it. Then I also need to tell you, this plantain moi moi is called ukbo ogede. Yes, some people call this ukbo ogede, while some people just call it plantain moi moi. Take a look at this. This is so delicious. My apologies. At this point, I'm supposed to, take nice pictures for my YouTube thumbnails, but I couldn't help but taste what I have just created with my hands. And this is delicious. Honestly, thank you for watching this video, like I'd always say. And also, thank you for enduring my goofy self. I like good food. It's not a secret, it's an open secret. I love good food. Don't forget, good food should be enjoyed all